This video is a bit different from normal ones, but I want to try something new, so let's do this. Am I the asshole for showing my tits to Jehovah's Witnesses? Removed from the other sub. Okay. Throw away because I don't want anyone to know about this. I'm a newish homeowner, 40 female. Bought my first house about 3 years ago. I love it, but I constantly get people knocking on the door selling roofs, windows, whatever. No soliciting signs don't help. Interestingly though, I have never had Jehovah's Witnesses come by. So this morning I was getting ready for the day, doing my hair and makeup in a towel when someone knocks. Sometimes I don't answer, but I was near the door so I opened it. These two guys immediately see me in my towel and say, "Oh, sorry, but don't leave." So I, annoyed, ask, "What do you want?" They seem a bit flustered to say, "We want to talk to you about scripture. We are Jehovah's Witnesses." I really don't know what came over me, but without hesitation I say, "Oh, Jehovah's Witnesses!" I open my towel and give them a little shimmy. One looks real upset and turns his head. The younger one looks shocked and takes a sec to turn off my porch. In the moment I think I'm hilarious, a point one for feminist anarchy, but after a bit I'm feeling really guilty. It's in my core not to disrespect people's religious beliefs, and I would never have done something like this if they weren't in my personal space. Is this an asshole thing to do? I'm morally struggling. What the fuck? It is kind of sexual harassment, because they didn't ask to see that. If the roles were reversed, say it was two female Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on a dude's door and he showed them his peen, people would not be happy about that. So I don't think this is particularly a good thing to do. I am laughing a little bit. I'm sorry. It's just such a bizarre thing to imagine. A good repellent though, I guess. I mean, I'm assuming they will never come back. However, they didn't ask for that to happen. What are people saying though? I believe you are now a sex offender. It seems like people are on the same page here. It definitely counts as sexual harassment because again, you're showing your private parts to people who didn't sign up for that sort of thing. What a thing to read. Am I the asshole for marrying my ex-fiance's older brother? Throw away because the situation has caused a lot of family drama. Can't imagine why. I, 27 female, recently married my husband, David, 35 male, who happens to be my ex-fiance's, Tom, 31 male, estranged older brother. I know it sounds complicated, but there's a lot more to the story. I was with my ex for about 5 years, engaged for 2, from 18 to 23. What people don't know is that Tom was emotionally, physically, and verbally abusive. Okay. Yeah, then no, you're not the asshole. Right now, instantly off the bat, I'm just like, no, you're not the asshole. He constantly belittled me, controlled who I could talk to, and gaslighted me into thinking I was the problem in the relationship. He lashed out at me for minor things, made me feel small, and then turn around and act like the perfect boyfriend in front of his family. No matter what he did, his parents always sided with him, even when he gave me a black eye at the family Christmas party. Tom was the golden child of the family, always spoiled and excused, even though he never held a stable job or took responsibility for his actions, right? Okay. Enabler family, basically. I stayed with him for so long because I thought maybe things would get better, but they didn't. Eventually, I hit my breaking point and ended the engagement. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done because despite everything, I didn't want to cause a rift in the family or be painted as the villain, but I knew I deserved better than the constant emotional abuse. I have been that bitch ever since. Yikes. Here's when things get even more complicated. Tom's older brother, David, 35 male, is estranged from the family. David cut ties with them years ago because of their toxic favoritism towards Tom. While Tom was always babied and handled everything on a silver platter, David had to work for everything he has. He's built his own business from the ground up, becoming a successful entrepreneur without any help from his family. They resented him for it, calling him arrogant and distant, when in reality, David just didn't want to be part of their dysfunctional dynamic. I don't really see how you could be the asshole in this situation. The brother is estranged. Your ex-fiance is a fucking asshole. Who cares? Is it just like you're the asshole in the family's eyes? Because you were the asshole in the family's eyes even before this, so who cares? They have nothing to do with it. They're estranged. David knew about the way Tom treated me in passing, and he was the only one who ever acknowledged how wrong it was. After I left Tom, David reached out to offer support, but it wasn't anything romantic at first. He'd been out of the family loop for so long, and honestly, we bonded over our shared experiences of being mistreated by Tom and his parents. Over time, our friendship turned into something more, and about a year after my breakup with Tom, David and I started dating. We took things slow because we both knew how messy the situation could get, but we fell in love, and last month we got married. David treats me with respect, kindness, and love, things I never had with Tom. He's the self-made, responsible, and independent. which is everything Tom is not. Now, Tom is furious. Fuck you, Tom! He's telling anyone who will listen that I betrayed him by marrying his brother, even though Tom and I have been broken up for over a year before David and I even started dating. His parents, who already despise David for leaving the family, are doubling down on their hatred. They're accusing me of being disloyal and have turned a lot of the extended family against us. The golden child can do no wrong after all. Despite all of this, David and I are incredibly happy together, but the constant drama from Tom and his parents has started to make me feel guilty, even though I know I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't leave Tom for David. I left because of Tom's abuse, and David came into my life much later. Just marrying him made me an asshole. Am I the asshole? No! Okay, so first of all, no. He was abusive. You were not together with him at the time that you met David. It really does not matter. You have nothing to do with that family anymore. They're related to the guy you're currently married to, but they're estranged, so why do they feel like they have any input? It doesn't matter. NTA, but you should block them and go no contact with them. Yeah, I don't understand why you're still being subjected to stuff here. Like, you have nothing to do with that family. NTA, you didn't betray Tom at all. He was abusive. You had every right to leave him and find happiness with someone else. Yes. Okay, that was easy. Am I the asshole for standing my ground on taking a car back that I gifted to a 19-year-old? This is not my child, but the child of my significant other. First, said child said that he couldn't get a job because he didn't have a car. Well, I was planning on getting a new car, so I said he could have the car for free. A 2009 GMC Yukon Denali XL with about 150,000 on it. I don't know what car that is. Oh, that's a pretty hefty car. As long as he obtained a full-time job within 2 months. The registration was paid for, as well as 6 months of insurance, so I took the job excuse off the table. I stated title wouldn't be signed over until the stipulations had been met. This was back in May. He's had multiple job opportunities, but they haven't been what he wanted. Now he says he just doesn't want a full-time job right now unless it was working with animals, which he has no experience and therefore nobody will hire him. I even told him that the local pet store was hiring almost 3 weeks ago, yet no job. My friends are telling me I'm an asshole for taking the car back, but it's still in my name and it's just rotting in his driveway and he is now just outright refusing to work. It's not like the car is gone forever. If he does get a job opportunity and he's like, oh, hey, I have a job lined up. I do need a car for this. Could I have it back? You know, it's possible to make that happen. So it's not like the car is like, okay, I'm taking it away and selling it to someone else. So it's still around, it seems. I also don't see an issue with taking the car back because it was agreed upon that it was a conditional offer. Like, you can keep this car if you get a job. It can be very, very hard to find work. However, if it's true that he's had multiple job opportunities and he's actually been offered somewhere to work, maybe he applied and he just didn't get the job, because that does happen. But if it is that he was offered jobs and he just said, no, I don't want to, then he can't be mad about not having the car anymore, because that's what was agreed upon. You were supposed to get the car if you get a job because you needed the car for the job. You're not just gonna get a car for free if you don't need it. So I don't think it's an asshole move to take the car back. This is not my child, but the child of my SO. Yeah. So I mean, there's an additional thing. I guess we don't really know what the relationship is like there. Not the asshole. The car was a reward for something he hasn't done yet. Maybe taking the car will give him the motivation to actually do the task. That is what I was thinking as well, but a part of me is just done with playing the job game. Sure, he doesn't want to work at Home Depot, according to him. He just wants to work with animals and won't settle for any job he doesn't like or want. Well, buddy, I got him into an animal shelter as a volunteer to get some experience and training, but he refused to work for free. Child doesn't live with the father and I because of the reason you state. He doesn't want to pay anything, and he wants to come live with us as I have toys. What? I didn't want to charge him rent because my house is paid for, but I don't have cable or the gaming subscriptions that his mother pays for him. I told him if he came to live with us, he would have to pay out of his own pocket for those things, and he said no. And there's definitely a co-parenting issue. The father wants him to get a job, but the mother coddles and enables the child. Right. So there's that issue too. It seems like they're not necessarily a stepmom. They're just dating one of the parents. You know, like, it's not like they fully adopted the child or anything like that. The child doesn't even live with them. Both the mother and the father is still in the picture, and both are co-parenting, right? There's not really much you could do here. They've done what they can. Am I the asshole for ruining my friend's vacation? I, 38 female, just got back from a vacation with 2 of my longtime friends, Kate, 40 female, and Mary, 38 female. I've known them both since university, and we've always been close. The 3 of us have been planning this Bali trip for a few months, along with our husbands and their kids. They both have children under 5, while my husband, Jake, 45 male, and I are child-free. We agreed to split the cost of a 4-bedroom villa 3 ways, and everything seemed fine at first. Jake and I arrived in Bali earlier than the rest of the group because we had different flights. Once we got to the villa, we waited to choose rooms with our friends and didn't mind when they both chose the ones with en-suites. We had a great time during the trip. Jake and I did some couples activities, massages, hiking, dinners, but we also spent time with Kate and Mary and their families whenever it worked for everyone. To be nice, I even surprised them with massages to give them a break. The only thing that made me uncomfortable was that whenever I ordered a drink, a cocktail before dinner, or a glass of wine with meals, I'd get comments like, "Oh, you're drinking again?" For context, I'm a social drinker who don't drink often, but we were on vacation and I didn't think it was a big deal, especially since our husbands were drinking too. I just ignored the comments so I could enjoy the trip. That's a very weird comment to make. Unless this person drinks so much to the point of being a nuisance or passing out or anything like that, or they've had an issue in the past and they're coming from a place of concern. We'll wait on and see. On the last night, Jake and I made plans with the guys to go out, and Kate and Mary said they were staying in to pack. Jake convinced me to join him, and since it was the last night of our vacation, I didn't want to stay in either. We went out and had a great time. We got home at 1 a.m. and passed out straight after. The next morning was a bit chaotic with everyone packing and checking out, but we all made it back home without issue. We had booked business class seats back, so we were separated during the flight and said quick goodbyes at the airport. A week after returning home, I got a long text from Kate saying that both she and Mary wanted to reduce contact with me because I had ruined their vacation. They mentioned several things like me drinking every night, that I wasn't acting like a girl's girl, that I booked different flights, didn't hang out with them enough, and that I was selfish for not helping with the kids. She even said I was just focused on partying and not acting my age. This message really hurt me. What? She's in her 30s. Let her live. Jesus Christ. She doesn't have any kids. She doesn't have any responsibility. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. I assume what they mean is that they wanted to spend more time with her, and instead she was going out with the guys. So I assume what they expected was that she would stay in with them and they could have like a little girls' night or something. But then why not say that? I feel like it's just a problem of like miscommunication right now. I was selfish for not helping with their kids. Did they ask? Bring a nanny. Hire a nanny. There. Leave the kids back home. Like why are you grumpy about your life choices? So she has to sacrifice her fun on what is also her vacation. They're not acting their age. They're fucking almost in their 40s. Well, one of them is 40 and the other one is 38. Communicate like adults. I cried after reading it and I honestly don't know what to think. I thought I was just enjoying my vacation, but clearly they had a very different view. I haven't responded yet and my husband has been asking what's bothering me, but I don't know what to say. Am I the asshole for how I acted during the trip? I would say no. I'm gonna read the edit first before I read the comments. Thank you, Reddit, for all your kind words and support. Reading through the responses and seeing how many of you are upset on my behalf has made me reflect on how I initially planned to handle things. I was going to apologize, thinking it might be the easiest way to keep the peace, but now I realize that might not be the right approach at all. I have also shown my husband Jake this post and the text message, and he told me to thank you for looking out for me. He's actually pretty angry on my behalf about the text message. I showed him some of the comments that gave me insight on how my friends may have been feeling, which has given us both a lot to think about. He asked me what I wanted to do next, and if I wanted him to respond to my friends for me. While I appreciated the offer, I told him I'm still thinking it over. He reassured me that he's here for me no matter what, and if I decide to want him to step in, he'd be ready to say something on my behalf. For now, I'm going to sleep on it, take some time before I respond, or don't respond to the text message. If I do, I'll post an update. Again, thank you all for helping me see things a bit more clearly. I feel less alone in this now. I do think they were being assholes, but also it's just a lack of communication. On their part, they should have talked to her, though, about their feelings before it got to this point. They're just jealous and expected you to lighten their childcare load. Yeah. Just because they have kids doesn't mean if you go on holiday with them, you must stay and look after the children just because you're a woman. Yeah! What about their fucking husbands? They need to tell this bull to their husbands as well, because there sure is a double standard there. Yeah, why can't the husband stay behind and take care of the kids, and then the 3 girlies can go have dinner together or whatever? And they can drink too. No one told them that they can't drink. That's another thing. If you've been close since university, most likely then they have known each other for at least a decade, right? They were always really close. Why is it all of a sudden like this? I feel like this didn't just come out of nowhere for them, for Kate and Mary. I think that they have been talking behind this person's back about it for a very long time, because it wouldn't just happen like that. A bunch of assholes, but not the person who posted it. We've been productive, I think. We've been doing the public a service. Good job, team.